Very good afternoon to all of you. I hope everyone is having a good time here. So today I'll be briefing about the quick topic, which is basic accounting for ESOPs. Because today's world, if you hire a key talent or retain a key talent, it is very important for companies to introduce some kind of plans or strategy to build a sense of ownership to the employees. And to implement these plans, we understand to know about the cost need to be booked by the companies. So we'll be discussing basic accounting for ESOPs as per India's 102. So today I'm representing Capita, which is end-to-end service provider for around equity compensations. So what we do in Capita, so we assist from the very start stage, which is the seeding stage where we help companies to provide advisory services, help them to finalize their ESOP framework. Then we'll also help in the managing the plans for the companies and provide transparency for the employees. We're also into the compliance portion as well, where we assist companies to disclose what is required as per the Companies Act and the SEBI. And we also have a marketplace where the unlisted company or closely held companies can participate and provide exit opportunities for the employees. Talking about the founders, so Mr. Ravi is our CEO, Mr. Lakshman is our CEO, and Mr. Vamsi is our CTO. So we are Series B funded firm backed by Charles Schwab and Citibank and East Ventures and many others. So in Capita, we have around 300 professionals belonging to chartered accountant industry, company secretary industry, and IT professionals. So coming back to the topic, the accounting for ESOPs, to understand what need to be booked, first we need to understand in which period we need to book the accounting cost. So there are different stages in the life cycle of the equity awards. First is the plan implementation stage, where we get the approvals from the board and the shareholders to actually make it effective for the organization to make a grant. Then we have a grant stage where we actually issue the formal letters to the employees. And once the grant is done, then company is into year-end reporting and the vesting happens. So once we grant, the vesting happens and make it eligible for the employees to actually exercise those options. Then the third stage comes in, that where the option is exercised by the employees, and the later stage is the share of the sale of the shares provided during the course of exercise. So which stage we need to book the accounting cost? So the accounting cost as per Ind AS 102, we need to book the accounting cost between the grant date and the vesting date. So if I cut it short, so we need to book the accounting cost over the vesting period in a graded manner. So first, we have understand the life cycle. So now let's understand how to determine the fair value of the options. To determine the fair value of options, first we need to determine the fair market value or the value of shares, the underlying assets on which ESOPs are granted. So they can be different methods to calculate the fair market value, which is discounted cash flow, the net equity method, the P ratio method. So first, once we identify or determine the fair market value of the shares, we'll calculate or determine the fair value of the options. And whatever the fair value of options we have calculated, we need to amortize or book over the vesting period. So if it is a equity settled plan, then we'll calculate or determine only at the one point of time, which is at the grant stage. But if it is a cash settled plan, then we have to remeasure at every reporting date and accordingly book our liability. If it is a listed company, then we have to take the current market price and not do the valuation here and again. So what are the different models suggested by the accounting standards? There are three major models which is suggested by Ind AS 102, which is the Black-Scholes model, which is a widely used model because many companies does not want any complexities value their fair value of options. So the Black-Scholes model is the widely used model and the most successful models for company to determine their fair value of options. The second model is the binomial model, which is similar to the Black-Scholes model, but involves some complex scenarios as well, where this complex structure of compensation is involved. And the third, which is a less used model, which is Monte Carlo models. So this works on the simulation process. So every time we need to run the thousand and lakh simulations to arrive at the fair value of the options. But majorly in the industry, the Black-Scholes model is the widely spread model. So what is the accounting entry for these ESOPs or equity awards? So we know that we need to charge to the P&L, so which is the employee benefit expense we need to debit into the P&L account. And the credits at the second leg will go to the equity. So if it is a equity settled plan, then there will be no impact on your net worth of the company, because ultimately you are cutting short the retained earnings because you're charging to the P&L and transferring it to the new set of reserve, which is under the equity head only, which is share-based payment reserve. If it is a cash settled plan, then you have to obviously create a liability, and ultimately it will transfer to the, once it is exercised, it is transferred to the share capital securities premium. If in any case there is a forfeiture or if there is any reversal, then it will go to the general reserve account. So what can be the scenarios once if it is a cost reversal? So if your vested options, like everything is in place, the employee has performed the time he has associated with the company and he has got the vested options with him. In any case, if it is forfeited or expired, then you have to transfer those costs into the general reserve because you have already charged it to the P&L, because there is no reversal of the vested options. However, in case of unvested options, you have to reverse your cost and charge it back to the P&L and credit your P&L and debit your reserve account. So what can be the case of the forfeitures? So if there's any resignation or misconduct, then they can be the case of forfeiture. In case of happening event like death and impermanent capacity, so the Company Act says that we need to book the accounting cost upfront as and when any event such arises, and book the charge into the P&L account. So let's just understand how we need to book the accounting cost. As I mentioned that the cost need to be booked over the vesting period. So if we have a vesting period of 3 years, and let's say we have determined the accounting cost as on the grant date. So the first option will be in the first year itself, we have a 1/3 equated vesting, which is 33%. And in the second year, we have again equated vesting. And in the third year, we have the last tranche of the vesting happens. So this is the FMV. And this is my fair value of the options we have calculated as per any model. But as I mentioned that the widely used model is the Black-Scholes model. So we have calculated these fair value. So the total expense for each year is 35, 40 and 45, which makes a total of 1,20,000. So the first year cost would be much more than what we expected in a equated vesting, because we need to book over the vesting period in a graded manner. So the first year vesting will be booked in the first year itself. However, the second vesting cost will be booked in a first year and the second year itself. And the third year cost will be booked over the 3 years, which is 70, 35, 15. So accordingly, we can see that the most of the cost we need to book in the first year itself of the grant date. So this is all about the quick brief on the accounting cost for ESOPs. Our team is available at the booth right outside of the banquet. You can reach out to us for any questions and queries. We are happy to help you with that. Thank you.